who is the biggest threat to each champ in each division, okay? Let's go over this. I know Kenny Okoye just made a video on this, but I completely disagree with his takes, and I need to make an objectively better list than that, okay? And also, let me say this, we are going to use our brains for this list, so we're not going to go, Islam's hardest threat is, I think fucking Arman Sarukian. No, we're going to use our brains, think thoroughly, and actually see who the biggest threats are for the divisions. There will be people moving up to beat these champs, okay? Not people moving down necessarily, because I don't think there's many champs that are going to move down, but let's take a look at who the actual hardest threats are to every champion, okay? So start off with heavyweight. For the heavyweight division, and I know this is already going to be controversial, I'm going to say Alex Pereira is the hardest and biggest threat to Tom Aspinall, okay? Now, the reason I think so is because I genuinely don't think anybody at heavyweight is going to beat Tom Aspinall. I know you're saying, Shelton Almeida's a beast grappler, and Tom Aspinall's grappling hasn't really been tested. I don't give a fuck, bro. If Curtis Blades is knocking you out when you're bending over the waist, trying to take him down, Tom Aspinall is going to knock you the fuck out, okay? So, I think Alex Pereira can actually fucking beat Tom Aspinall. Not 100% though. I genuinely don't think Tom will probably lose to anybody. But if I had to say who has the biggest chance of beating Tom Aspinall, believe it or not, it is Alex Pereira. Because I do think Tom Aspinall would entertain the idea of striking on the feet for a little. I genuinely don't think, like, I know people are saying, what are you fucking talking about? Tom is going to immediately shoot. He's not. I'm going to tell you this right now. There will probably be a minute at least where Tom will be like, oh, all right, I just want to test the distance out with this guy. And Alex, in that chance, could have a little chance to knock out Tom Aspinall. That is the best chance we're ever going to get at seeing Tom Aspinall lose. And I like Tom Aspinall. I'm literally, genuinely saying he probably is not going to lose to anybody other than maybe Alex Pereira. Maybe. It's a very small chance, but it is the biggest chance at defeating Tom Aspinall. So let's move on to the light heavyweight division. The guy who has the biggest chance at defeating Alex Pereira is Dricus Du Plessis at light heavyweight. Believe it or not, it is not Magomed Ankalaev like most of you guys think, because, you know, what are you fucking talking about? Magomed is a dominant grappler. He is not a dominant grappler. The motherfucker can't finish anybody on the ground. So how is he going to finish Alex Pereira? It is a very similar situation to Merab versus Sean, where, you know, sure, Magomed can drag down Alex as many times as he wants, but guess what? The fight's gonna go up, right? Every round, the fight starts back on the ground, and guess what? Magomed is a fucking striker. Magomed is a striker. He is not a grappler, because he's Dagestani, bro. What are you talking about? He's a grappler. He's not. He can't finish anybody on the ground, so I am not going to fucking pick Magomed to beat Alex, and I think that a more dominant grappler like Dricus Du Plessis and somebody who can actually fucking implement his crazy ass style will be Dricus Du Plessis, and will have the highest chance at defeating Alex. Because I don't know, man, this in my opinion, I would lean slightly towards Alex, right? I would probably pick Alex to win this fight at light heavyweight, because this is light heavyweight like I'm talking about. But I do think Dricus has the best chance, a better chance than Magomed, despite what you guys fucking think. Because I know you guys are saying Magomed probably has the best chance. Yeah, I think it's like 50-50. Magomed probably gets him. But no, Magomed is not going to outstrike him, and he's not going to fucking TKO him on the ground, nor is he going to last 5 rounds with Alex Pereira and take him to a decision. I'm telling you that right now. He is going to get knocked out by Alex Pereira, and you will see it come the time when they fight. But as of right now, I think Dricus has the better chance, because if he gets fucking Alex to the ground, like he has said he will probably shoot on fucking Alex, unlike these other people, and he will have a better chance at actually submitting or literally doing anything on the ground to Alex, unlike Magomed, who's just gonna fucking sit there and just sleep on fucking Alex Pereira. So if we're gonna use our brains and be realistic, you know, just because Dricus is undersized, maybe he's really not. He is a big fucking middleweight, and he would look bigger at light heavyweight, and he wouldn't be cutting as much weight. So I genuinely think out of everybody, Dricus has the better chance, the best chance at defeating Alex Pereira at light heavyweight. Not at middleweight, not at heavyweight, at light heavyweight, okay? So let's move on to middleweight. Okay, for middleweight, I'm going to go with a boring pick, but who I genuinely think has the best chance is Sean Strickland, okay? I genuinely think Sean Strickland probably has the best chance, just based on the first fight, which was an extremely 50-50 fight. You know, I'm sure Dricus will come into the rematch with a different game plan. He will probably come with a different game plan and try and win the fight more dominantly and maybe even sub Sean Strickland. But I genuinely think that Sean Strickland, out of everybody here, has the best chance at beating Dricus. Obviously, he's going to probably just beat him to a decision. He's going to bring him to a decision. He's not going to fucking knock out Dricus or some bullshit like that. But I think that Sean Strickland's style does pose a bit of a threat, especially if he applies more fucking pressure to Dricus than instead of backing up like he did the entire fight and throwing his fucking teeps. But I think based on what we've seen in the first fight, and I'm going to consider that very well, I'm going to consider it very much, I think he has the best chance at defeating Dricus. I know it's a boring pick, so I'm not going to talk about it for too long, but I think out of everybody, you could say maybe Khamzat also, but I'm going to place Khamzat just a little bit below Sean because Khamzat doesn't exactly have the best gas tank. Sure, he is an extremely dominant grappler, but Dricus has pretty good grappling to where he might be able to, at the very least, compete a bit and not get finished in the first round. And then he could just fucking try and take Khamzat to where he is going to gas out. And also, let me say this, Khamzat doesn't even fucking get into the octagon. I don't know if this motherfucker is ever going to fight again. The biggest challenge for Khamzat is getting out of bed and fighting. So I'm not going to say he's a threat to Dricus when he probably won't even fucking fight him. He'll probably just fucking retire right now. So yeah, Sean Strickland's the biggest threat to him. So that's it. Let's move on to welterweight. For welterweight, I'm going to say Shavkat Rakhmonov has the best chance at defeating Belal Muhammad. Obviously, Shavkat is undefeated, and he's one of these guys who's being hyped up so fucking much. But in reality, I honestly, I've said this in the past, I think Belal will beat, despite what we want to see, I think he will beat Shavkat Rakhmonov. Okay, I don't think Shavkat's been tested enough, but we do have to talk about this, Shavkat's impressive fucking finishing streak, and he probably will finish Belal. He could finish Belal. I'm not going to pick him to finish Belal. I'm going to pick Belal to fucking take him to a decision and win it, but it could easily be Shavkat Rakhmonov winning this fight, and I think out of everybody at welterweight or anybody at lightweight moving up or whatever, I think Shavkat has the best chance at beating Belal, and I think most people would agree with this based on, the polls that I've put out and shit. Most people agree that Shavkat would beat Belal, but I personally don't think he would beat him, but I think he is definitely his hardest challenge, and that's why the UFC is trying to push it. There's people who genuinely think Usman is a threat to Belal. Okay, this isn't fucking 2020 Usman, bro. Like, hello? We're in 2024 now, guys. Let's fucking remember that Usman isn't the same guy he is. He's on a 3-fight losing streak, so let's just use our brains a bit, okay? Let's realize that Usman isn't in his prime anymore, and he's not really a threat to Belal, who just fucking dominated Leon Edwards, the guy who beat Usman twice, right? So, yeah, Shavkat's his biggest threat. Let's move on to lightweight. At lightweight, Islam's biggest threat is Ilia Topuria, okay? And I know the Ilia Topuria haters are going to come flooding in, or the Arman Sarukian Glazers, who, let me tell you this right now, Arman is not a fucking threat to Islam. I'm sorry, I'm not even using the first fight to base this off. But regardless of what you think, Islam has made significant improvements and has shown that he is so dominant that honestly, he might not even lose to anybody at lightweight. So I think his biggest threat, and you could say, well, what are you talking about? Fucking Ilia's a featherweight. Okay, we just saw Volk give him his hardest fight. We saw Volk give Islam his fucking hardest fight, and we're going to say that Ilia doesn't stand a chance? Ilia doesn't stand a chance. Okay, I get it. He doesn't stand a chance. Maybe when he beats Max Holloway in October, and you guys finally realize that Ilia is the real deal, you'll see that Islam's hardest matchup right now is Ilia Topuria, okay? And we've seen Islam get knocked out by the right hand before. I know it was way back in 2007, but guys, we need to be realistic here. Ilia is a fucking extreme threat to Islam. I know Islam's grappling, and Islam's going to have the size advantage, but guys, let's just look at this objectively. The guy who would give the hardest threat to Islam is not fucking Arman Sarukian, bro. It is not Arman Sarukian, and if it's not Arman, the second best guy, the best, who in reality, who I think is the best guy, is Ilia Topuria, and we're going to realize it one day. I don't know. I know now people probably are not going to agree with this take, but I'm telling you, this is going to age well. This is going to age very well. Ilia is Islam's biggest threat. This is a 50-50 fight in my eyes right now. I'm sure in the future, more people will see it this way, but I'm telling you right now, this is his biggest threat, 100%. Let me move on to featherweight. Ilia Topuria's biggest threat is not Max Holloway, the guy who is supposed to knock out Ilia Topuria, and he knocked out Justin Gaethje. yeah, everyone fucking saw that fight coming. And the only reason you would pick Max Holloway to beat Ilia is because you overrated Justin Gaethje, and you know, you saw this, bro, he just put on a masterclass against Justin Gaethje. Oh my god, he's gonna destroy Ilia. Let's get realistic here. Max was always going to win that fight. I don't need to talk about it. I've already talked about it 16,000 times on my channel. I'm still going to talk about it 16,000 times, but right now we're going to talk about his hardest matchup, which is not Max Holloway. It is Sean O'Malley, and I would still pick Ilia to win this fight, but Sean does pose the biggest threat because, in my opinion, he is the best striker in the UFC right now. We'll see how this ages with the Merab fight. Maybe Sean fucking loses, but regardless, I still think he is the best striker in the UFC right now, and I think with his speed advantage that he would have, and just overall skill advantage he would have over Ilia Topuria, because he is the lighter guy, right? The lighter weight class skill, bro. You gotta always remember that, lighter man skill, as Lucas Tracy likes to say, rest in peace. But you know, he will have that skill coming with him when he comes up, and you know, I'm not surprised if people would genuinely be picking Sean O'Malley to beat Ilia Topuria. And I'm not even gonna hate on you, but just after seeing the Peter Yan fight with Sean, that's the reason I would be picking Ilia. But you know, I think Sean is still Ilia's biggest threat. I'm not going to deny it. And also, Islam would never move down. I think Islam is Ilia's biggest threat, but that's only if Ilia moves up, okay? So Islam is Ilia's biggest threat. Ilia is Islam's biggest threat. They're like even right here, if you get what I'm saying. This is a big brain fuck right now, but Islam will never cut down to 145. It is impossible. So therefore, Ilia's biggest threat at featherweight is somebody coming up. It's not anybody in the division right now. It's not Movsar Evloev. I'll tell you that right now. It's not Max Holloway. You're going to see. It's not Aljo. It's not Brian Ortega. Diego Lopez is not going to win his fight against Brian Ortega. I'm going to tell you that right now. So it's not Diego Lopez. So yeah, it's Sean O'Malley, the best striker in the UFC right now, who has the best chance against Ilia Topuria as well. But let me move on to Bantamweight. Sean O'Malley's biggest threat, who probably may never get a title shot again, depending on, you know, what we see happen, but it is Peter Yan. I'm going to tell you, it's not Umar, even though Umar is a very big threat. I'd put him right slightly below Peter Yan, but as long as Peter Yan is in that division, and I know he's older now, but he won the fucking first fight, so I don't know, man, especially if it's 5 rounds, I could easily see Peter Yan, not easily, I shouldn't say that, not easily, because like I said, the first fight, it was competitive, but Peter Yan did win it, so as long as Peter Yan's in that division, I will be saying that Peter Yan is Sean O'Malley's hardest matchup. Just stylistically, he's a hard matchup for Sean O'Malley, okay? And I don't really want to yap about this too long because we've already seen the fight happen, so it's not really that interesting to necessarily talk about, but I'll also say, I'll just talk about Umar a little bit also. Umar is a similar kind of threat to Sean O'Malley. Sorry, I'm forgetting who I'm fucking talking about. Sugar Badass Sean O'Malley. Umar is a similar threat. It's not Merab. I'm not gonna say it's Merab because I think Sean O'Malley will beat Merab, but I think Umar could be a big threat as well. But for now, I'm just gonna say Peter Yan because I think that if he beats Figgy, I don't know what would happen, honestly. I don't know if they would give Peter Yan the title shot. They should give it to him, but the whole division's so fucking weird right now, and Sean O'Malley probably would try and fight Ilia Topuria if he wins against Merab. So it's a fuck fest right now over there, right? But I don't know. I still think Peter Yan has the best chance. You could argue it's Umar. I wouldn't hate you for that. But I'm going to say Peter Yan has the best chance right now. Let me move on to the worst division in the UFC that I fucking hate. Flyweight. Yeah, so the flyweight division that I do not like and that I don't care to talk about really anymore. We'll just say fucking Pantoja. His biggest threat is this fucker, Tatsuro Taira. Yeah, it's not Kai Kara France, actually. Actually, let me get into this. It's not Kai Kara France like some people are saying. I think Kenny Okoye said that right, and I've seen some TikToks actually saying that. Sorry, but Pantoja has a granite chin. He does have a fucking granite chin, and despite how good Kai Kara France might be on the feet and how good his takedown defense is, I'm sorry, it's not his biggest threat. It's probably Tatsuro Taira. Again, I don't fucking care about this division enough to do a deep analysis or a deep breakdown or deep research on who really is his biggest threat, but I know for a fact it's not Kai Kara France. You could argue it is, sure, you can fucking argue it is. It's probably his second biggest threat, but as of right now, I would not pick Kai Kara-France to win against a guy with a fucking granite chin who is taking shots. And I think that the guy who would give him his hardest matchup and his hardest fight would probably be Tatsuro Taira, who has good grappling and would be able to fucking compete with Pantoja in the grappling. You know, maybe, actually, Pantoja probably does have better striking than this little fucker here, but you know, it's whatever. I honestly don't fucking care about this division anymore. It is a terrible division where everybody just fights each other, and I'm gonna go on a flyweight rant in a different video because I fucking hate this division. You could be as hardcore as you want and say, no, what are you fucking talking about? These are the most skilled fighters in the UFC, bro. You're such a casual. I'm sorry, I just don't care about this division. There's no personalities, no fucking people in here who I give a shit about, so yeah, I shouldn't have fucking ended the video with this. This is just a terrible division, but it's whatever. The biggest threat is probably fucking Tatsuro Taira. But that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of comments saying that I'm fucking wrong. And no, Arman's Islam's biggest threat. And Magomed, bro, you're underrating Magomed. Shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up about Magomed. I'm so sick of hearing Magomed, bro. Magomed is not a big threat. I'm not a Dagestani hater either. I'm not one of these delusional guys who's like, yeah, he's Dagestani. He's not a big threat. But I genuinely just don't think Magomed is a big threat to Alex Pereira. So I'm sorry about that, but he's not, okay? And yeah, that's it for the video. I'm sure I'm going to get called delusional in the comments, but this is an objective list. It's right. It's fucking thoroughly analyzed. This is what you if you use your brains and you just don't say, Arman's the biggest threat. Arman's the biggest threat. Max Holloway is the biggest threat for Ilia. This is a actual deep dive list, right? It took me fucking 23 years to make this list, okay? So that's it. I yapped so much in this video, bro, but yeah, it's whatever. I genuinely like this list that I made here, and I think it is a good list. It's a good list. I hope you guys see that. But yeah, that's enough for the video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace.